Add and subtract fractions with different denominators. So if our denominators don't match, we are going to find the LCM, or that's what we were working on. When we found the LCM, or in other words, now that we're dealing with fractions, the LCD. We will multiply the denominator by the missing factors once we found the LCD, then multiply the numerator by the same factors. If for some reason that you can't find the LCD, you can always multiply the two denominators. It's not the best way. You can sometimes get really big numbers that way, and which means without a calculator they get a little bit difficult to handle, but it is possible. So let's take a look at our two examples here and see how to do this. In example 1, we have 5/3 plus 4/9. Now here's a little trick for finding an LCD. It just so happens that if I look at this, I can tell that 9 is a multiple of 3. And hopefully you recognize that too. So if 1 is a multiple of the other, we use the largest as the LCD, our least common denominator. So since we want this to be 9, this is the way that I find that the easiest way to write it. I know that I want the denominator to be 9. And so what do I have to multiply 3 by to get 9? Since I didn't break these down, I have to think about those things. And since I multiply the denominator to get 9, I need to multiply the numerator to get my number also. So we have 3 times 5, which would be 15. Now, our 4/9 already had the common denominator, so I'm just going to bring that over here. Now I have, and I'm just going to draw a line here so I don't accidentally use anything that's on the other side of that. So I have 15 plus 4, which would give me 19, and then my denominator stays the same, so now I have 19/9. 19 is a prime number, so there's no common factors between 19 and 9, so that is my final answer. In example 2, we have 3/4 and 5/6. Now 4 and 6 have common factors. One is not the multiple of the other. So I've got two things I could do. I could go and do the prime factorization of them both. So I got, here I'm doing 4. That would give me 2 squared. 2 squared for my 4. And for 6, I would get 2 times 3. Now our LCD, remember, is we take each unique factor and the highest exponent for each unique factor. So I would have 2 squared times 3, or in other words 4 times 3, which would equal 12. So that's what I would do if I wasn't sure what the LCD would be. The other thing is that remember we could use our math magic, I guess you could call it, and our mental math, and maybe that you noticed when you looked at 4 and 6 that 12 would be the common denominator because you happen to know that 4 and 6 both go into 12 evenly, and that's the smallest number that they do. So now I need to do a rewrite of 3/4 as something over 12, and I need to write my negative 5/6. I keep my negative and move it up to the numerator so that I don't accidentally lose my sign. But again, I want this one to be something over 12. So 4 times 3 gives us 12, so that means I need to multiply the numerator by 3. So we have 3 times 3 would be 9. And for our 5, 6, 2 times 6 gives us 12. So that means I'm multiplying my 5 by 2. So I have -5 times 2, which would give me a -10. Now this one here, you may notice that I'm doing vertically. And it doesn't really matter. If you wanted to take the time to rewrite this as 9/12 minus 10/12, that works too. So since I actually wrote that, I'll just leave it like that. And I have 9 minus 10, which would give me -1. And then I keep my denominator of 12. And 1 and 12 have no common factors, so my answer just stays as -1/12.